Hi, my name is Kaisa from Wreaths by Kaisa, and I am going to show you how to do your very own festive wreath using one of my wreath kits. Just a little bit of preparation beforehand. So when you receive your wreath kit, you should have all the materials laid out in various different sections. So your moss will come in a plastic bag. It's really important once you receive it, just open the bag and put it outside so that the moss doesn't get too dry, but also that it doesn't get moldy if it's in a sealed bag. In regards to the spruce, what you need to do is you need to use some secateurs and just cut a fresh edge onto the spruce. Chuck it outside in a cold water bath for 24 hours just to try and maximize it soaking up as much moisture as possible. If for some reason you haven't thought about this and you don't have time to do that, don't worry, but just be mindful that you're going to have to still use the secateurs just to cut a fresh edge to it, and then you just attach the spruce to your moss base. But I'm going to position my camera so that you can see what I'm actually doing rather than watching me. And then we are going to get started by getting our moss base ready. So with your moss, comes in like little clumps like this. So you want to sort some of it out. So you want to pull it apart so that you actually get the moss. You can see that there's lots of like just dirt and various different things that you don't necessarily need. Don't need any twigs or bugs in your wreath either. So you just want to pull the moss apart a little bit just to get the best bits out of the moss. That's about right here. So it can get a little bit messy. I have very optimistically worn my light color cardigan for this, which is just the perfect outfit, but it will be fine. And you can see here, while I've been sorting through this, you can see just the sort of little twigs and bits and pieces that have fallen off it. The moss, that's the sort of bit we really don't need there. So you've got your 12-inch base, and in your pack you will have a roll of floral wire as well. Now what you want to do, I'm gonna get it started here, and then I'm gonna come a little bit closer to the camera so that you can see exactly how I've wired around here. So you can see there that I fed it through starting from the outer level, and then I've just used the middle bar to attach the wire. So this way, when I'm now pulling on it, I've got a really good strong grip. Then I'm gonna take a handful of moss, and it's sort of nice and fluffy now. And I'm gonna clump it all together. And when it's up, I was saying this the other day to someone, that it is a bit like making a meatball or meatloaf. If you eat meat, I don't know what the veggie version of that would be. You just wanna clump it together. When I'm now holding it, I've got a good feel for how much moss I've put there. So now you're gonna twist your wire every couple of centimeters. You're gonna press down the moss, and you're gonna wrap your wire. And you're just gonna basically keep repeating this process all throughout the ring base. And again, when you clump the moss together, you will start to get a nice feel for how much moss you are putting in. So you want to try and keep these clumps of moss the same size. So you don't want to have a massive clump and then not having enough moss. Some people also like to do a loose wiring first, then they go around and then do another roll, and then do it a bit tighter. I sort of think it just makes sense that you just do it first time around and just do it properly the first time around. I find that that makes life a bit easier rather than then having to go over it twice. But everybody does things differently. Let's grab a bit more from here. And a nice clump again in my fingers. And while you're doing this, you're getting that really nice feel for it. So you'll know if you've got the right amount, because you'll feel it in your fingers that that feels about right to what I put down there. I don't think we've got any creepy crawlies here today, but sometimes there can be some little visitors as well. But it is part of when you're working with natural elements. And clump this a bit more. Didn't quite feel right. That feels much better. So you can see even now, I put it down and I just felt, no, that just doesn't feel like it's thick enough. So I've just moved it over and just squelched it a little bit more. And just make sure when you're wiring that you are pulling your wire nice and tight. And another bit of moss. And if for some reason you don't find this therapeutic, then you can also buy just pre-mossed bases. But I think it's actually quite nice of doing this yourself. Just obviously minus the mess, but it sort of feels nice and festive already. Okay, let's wrap this around, back there. And again, I'm pulling it nice and tight. I like to do it so that I'm pressing down with I'm right-handed, so I press down with my left hand. So I'm basically able to just compress the moss when I do this. So I can press down the moss with my left hand, and then I can wrap it with my right hand. So I'm basically twining this to the left. And it's actually quite simple. Once you get going and you get a good feel for it, it's actually quite simple. It's not a difficult process at all. Get rid of some of this dirt here. I'll do a nice little pressing down again. And just keep going. Get rid of some of this rubbish here. That's my bowl. I just put all of my moss in a glass bowl, so it's easy for me to reach. But you can just put it on your countertop or wherever you want to do your wreaths. I find that it's a bit easier if I'm standing up rather than sitting down, because sometimes when I sit down for a long period of time, I find that I'm just tensing up my shoulders a lot. So this one I find a little bit easier if I'm standing up. Now that feels like that is not 100% enough. Let's grab a little bit more from here. Just a tiny bit more. There you go, that's better. You can can see that I'm basically constantly squeezing my hands around the base. I'm doing it to get a good feel for how much moss I've put on and to make sure that it's a consistent amount all the way across. Good. Then when it comes to cutting the wire, if you have got access to wire cutters, then you can get wire cutters. Your kitchen scissors will work as well, but they will get very blunt with time. So I would recommend using wire cutters if you can. So this is now our finished moss base. So we're now gonna then start working on the actual wreath. I'm just gonna give my table a quick clean, just to get rid of some of this moss here. This is why I like a glass bowl, because then I can just put all the rubbish into this. Okay, good. Now we're gonna get started on our spruce. So you've got your spruce, you've cut it, I've pre-cut it for you, but you've then cut it you cut a fresh edge. I've already done it. But I've already done it when I put them into the water bath to soak. I'll just show you quickly. That's basically just all you need to do. So we're gonna do, when I place these on top of each other, I'm trying to make like nice looking bunches. So with this one, you can see that this bit doesn't look very nice. So I'm gonna place the other one over it and place them on here. You can see this is now upside down. But when you're placing your spruce, you want to place it sort of that you're going in a nice circular shape. If you were to place it at a really outwards angle, that is fine as well, but you would then run out of spruce. Because in your kit there isn't enough for you to, because that would then be a gigantic wreath. So just sort of keep to the circular shape of the base. So we're gonna start off with these two first. Just find it a bit easier sometimes if I've got a massive bunch in my hands. It's almost like it's harder. And I'm just gonna start twining this and pulling it tight. I'm gonna put this bit here, and I think I'm gonna do another bit here as well. You've then got a separate little paper bag, or like wrapped up tissue paper, and that one includes all your dried and preserved materials. That varies from one pack to each other, or from one pack to another, so they're not all the same. So in this instance, we've got some bunny tails. So I'm gonna put in 4 bunny tails here. And these are not the main bulk of the wreath. These are just little pops of color that we are adding onto the wreath just to bring in a little bit of color. But by using these, as opposed to using like fresh holly and things like that, it just means that we get a little bit of more use, longer use out of the wreath, because obviously it's dried or preserved, so it's not going to go bad. And you can see again I'm just doing these one bit of spruce at a time, and I'm just sort of constantly trying to keep to that same shape. So I'm not spreading it out too much to the sides, and every time I'm putting in a new bunch, I'm making sure that I cover the stems and the wire and the moss from the previous. So like for instance now here, you can see that there's a little bit of just that tree bark showing there. So that's gonna need another bit of spruce on top of that, so that then that gets nice and covered. I'm gonna do one more bit of spruce, or maybe two, and then we're gonna do our next pop of color, which are then these gorgeous dried berries. And you don't have to use these pops of color if you don't want to. You don't have to use the dried and preserved materials. I'm actually just going to do a tiny bit there. You don't have to use them if you don't like them. I like to sort of mix things up a bit. I just think it just gives the wreath some lovely texture. It makes it look a little bit, gives it that festive look. But then also it just adds that extra bit of color and texture to it. And just nice and tight wrapping. Let's go for this one. I'm going to cut that bit off. I'm going to go for a shorter one first here. And as you can see, I'm sort of matching these while I go along. So there's different ways. You can just get a pre-made bunch in your hands and then add that. That worked quite nicely. Sometimes I just find myself just taking one bit at a time and then adding it, whatever you find that works best for you. You also want to do is you want to make sure that you are doing the same thickness all throughout. So now, because we've been twining it, I was just matching it with this one, and this is obviously a lot bigger stem. I didn't want to put it here because I felt that that would have then been too much with the ones that I already had there. I'm gonna do 4 bunny tails again. These are just so cute, these little pops of color. Now I'm just going to trim this a bit more, just so that we're sort of keeping on to the nice shape of the wreath that we discussed earlier. And we're not going completely crazy with it, that it doesn't fan out so much. And then this one here. So you can see that we've got a nice consistent shape coming through. We're constantly going around, but adhering to, oops. So if that happens, don't worry. That was just my wire that got snapped because I pulled it too tight. So if that happens, don't worry. You just start another bit. It happens, so it's fine. I do these berries here. And I just love this red color of the berries. I'm just sort of rummaging through my spruce here to just get the perfect size for this bit. And another bit here. And then I think I want one on the outside. That a bit shorter. There we go. Drink of water, sorry. And look, now you can see that we're almost meeting on the other side. And sometimes the spruce that you get can have like different shades to it as well, which is really nice because it just mixes it up even more. This will be perfect lower down. This one we'll put here. And some ponytails again. Just keep rolling. This one I will put here, but then I want a smaller branch, couple of these smaller ones to fit onto the inside, so that again, it's that nice consistent shape coming through. This one here. That's where that one wants to go. Red berries minus the moss. Sort of done maybe a bigger clump of berries. Again, I'm trying to just keep it to the same consistency, that I don't all of a sudden have a massive clump of berries if I use smaller clumps here. But you can sort of measure them out before you start and have a look and see what you've got there, and then sort of think about what you then want to do. And just snaps off if you then want to have bigger bunches or smaller, or just leave them all out if you don't like them. And then when we're coming to the end, sort of space these ones out. So there's maybe a little bit of a bigger gap here now with the dried berries, but I think that's gonna be okay. Because then also we're gonna add a bow once we're finished. So this might then be the good top part to hang it from. I'm just gonna keep adding to the top here, just to make sure that there's no moss exposed. You don't really want to be seeing that. I do realize now that the way I've spaced my berries, I should have put them in a little bit more frequently, but it's fine. So this one, I'm just gonna push it through one of these wires for the base. This is not necessarily necessary, but I want to make sure that it's nice and tight. And then I'm just pushing it back into the moss. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick clean again. There you go. Because I've angled my camera really low down, I'm just gonna put it up here now for a sec, just so that you can see. This is now the finished wreath. And do you remember when I said to you, like, oh, I've left too big of a gap here? Because you can see that there's a bigger space here than there is with the other ones. That's fine. We can just cover that up with decorations. if you look at it and think, oh, should have done something, you can also just push in a couple of these bunny tails, just push them into the moss, because these have got like I'm gonna shorten them up a bit, because obviously these have got like quite thick stems, so I'm just gonna push them in just to show you. So this is also an option, so don't worry if it doesn't look perfect, it's fine. It's handmade as well, so it doesn't have to look perfect. It's fine, it's your artistic creation. And sometimes you measure something and then you think, oh, sugar, should have done that a bit differently. You live and learn about these. And you hear the crunching. I've just literally pushed them in. So now I think, now it's a little bit too frequently, but it actually looks a lot better. So we're gonna then move on to what I call is the fun part, which is you get to start decorating it. But yeah, you can first have a look and just to sort of see that you're happy with the shape, you're happy with where everything is folding. If you look at it and you think, oh, I really don't like that bit of spruce sticking out, you can then always just trim some of them just to make it look more circular, nice and even. But as I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And the thing is, when you're doing a spruce wreath, I find it that when it looks like this looks amazing. You don't want it to be the perfect shape because then it doesn't look real. Then it looks artificial. So in your pack, I've kindly done pre-wired your oranges for you, because it is sometimes quite hard going to get the wire through. And I wanted to do this pack so that you can do these without having to get a glue gun. So it just makes it a bit easier. So I'm just gonna put the camera down again, just so that you can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. So we're gonna take the orange that's been pre-wired, and the wires go to the back of the spruce stem or branch, and we're just gonna twist it. I'm gonna twist, 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 and then we're gonna cut the wire and we're gonna fold it down. And it is that simple to do this. Super, super, super simple. Let me move that. I have too many dried berries out there. Have a think about also how you want to do these. Again, be as creative as you want. Do you want all the oranges spread out across the wreath? Do you want two sitting together? Whatever you prefer. I'm sort of just going to position these here and there. I like when it looks random. So you just randomly sort of put them across the wreath. And I always think that that has got the nicest look. So when you haven't tried too hard. I'm going to do the same thing again. Just take, you can also just do it so that you wire it. Hold on, sorry, just the camera angle again. I'm just basically this one, I'm just wiring it at the back of the wreath. So I've pulled the wires across the wreath and just tightened it at the back. You can do it that way as well. Let's then put this green orange next to the orange, because I think this would look like a nice combo. Sometimes it's nice when the oranges are sort of grouped together, especially when they're like different colors. I'm just gonna twist, 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 and just fold that one down. And we're gonna put this one here. Oops, a bit of berry is falling off. These are the ones that I just literally pushed in afterwards. So not all of them have adhered. And I'm gonna put this one over here. And this one I'm gonna tighten it at the back of the wreath. So wrap it around. And then, where's the other part? There you go. Twist at the back. And where's my third? Oh, the wire has fallen off of my third orange. So actually this is not perfect. So now I can show you how I do this in case you want to put more oranges. So I just pre-did this because I thought otherwise nobody's going to want to watch a video where I do this for the next 20 minutes. I push in a barbecue stick and I push it. Where does it want to come out? I can see the tip end there. There's a path there. Come on, come on. Oh, that goes so nicely. Let's try and see. Normally I try and get the barbecue stick then out from the other side. But this looked like there's already a path. And then I just pull the wire through. This one here. And I'm just gonna go and grab some orange slices. I'm ruffling here because I didn't take the orange slices out, but in your pack you will have 6 slices. So you take a bit of wire. You can group these orange slices together. I like that finish, but you might want to do them individually if you want to. Do these ones, pull it through, twist at the base. So you're going to be doing a lot of twisting today. And then you're going to do the same thing again as with all the whole oranges. Just twist, twist, twist. Trim the edges or the ends. It down. And I think I want my other orange slices to go then to the other side. Oh, these just smell amazing. And twist, twist, snip. Then in your pack, you've also got 5 pine cones, and chuck them there in the middle. And you should have 5 cinnamon sticks as well. So with the cinnamon, let's actually do the pine cones first because they're a bit bigger. So for the pine cone, you want to grab quite a long bit of wire. You're going to grab your pine cone, push it through all the way down to the back, then twist your wire. So now you've got nice and secure grip, and then you're just gonna place it onto your wreath. And I think because this is such a big pine cone, I'm gonna twist this bit to the back. If the decorations are massively heavy, they will sort of droop down as well. But yeah, that's perfect there. I'll do another one. So push it in, meets at the back, wires crossed as your pine cone. And then you are going to place it wherever you think it should go. Oh, this is a lovely big stem here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take 2 stems for this pine cone because this is so heavy, so that then it's not gonna droop. So I've done 2 branches of the spruce and wired it at the back. It's all done. Couple more to go, and then we're almost finished. This one here. I think I've given you 5 pine cones, but I think on this one, this time I'm only going to use 4. So I think it's starting to look so festive already. I don't want to overdo it, but feel free to go for the all 5 if you want to. I'll just leave some for indoors if you have got any, doing like your own little centerpiece or something. Again, I've taken quite a few branches here, or the sort of stems, and folded them together. There you go. So that is now, I'm going to do the camera again, lift it up so you can see. That is looking fantastic. Okay. And then we're going to do the cinnamon sticks. So same thing as for the pine cones. For the cinnamon sticks, take long strips of the wire, push it through from one end of the cinnamon stick, and it comes throughout the other side. Then twist it to the back, twist it at the middle. So this is what your cinnamon stick should look like at the back, and then that's going to give you a nice area for gripping it. And you're going to do the same thing again. So you're going to put it here and you are going to just twist it at the back. And then you will have quite a bit of the wire left over, so you can then use that in the future if you ever want to make another wreath, or if you then need to add anything onto the wreath, you can just use the wire to do that. These ponytails sort of there, so they're not mixing with their pine cone. And that comes through here. Where do I want to put this? Because I've got so much going on here already, I'm a bit of a less is more person, so I'm already looking and thinking like, ooh, that's a lot of stuff I've got there. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm only gonna put in the 3 cinnamon sticks here, and then you have then got the option of doing more if you want to, or any leftovers, just use them inside your house to make it smell festive. Put them in a bowl with a couple of pine cones. Okay, I am pretty happy with that. You've also got a pre-made ribbon. So on your ribbon that's already tied into a bow, you just push a bit of this wire through the knot at the back, and then you twist. Okay, now let's lift up this camera. Hold on, sorry about the quality of my videos. I'm trying to get this all together so you get to do your own Christmas wreaths. I wonder, where would I want to put this? I think that one folds there. I think this might be a good top part. This bit here. I'm gonna do this and cut, and these are now really long, these tails, so you can then trim them down if you want them shorter. But this is now your very own festive wreath. I think that looks absolutely amazing. Hopefully yours looks even better. And again, just keep twisting these. If you find like your orange slices are flopping, as mine are here, you can then fold them down onto another bit of spruce so that you're almost like propping it up. If they're still flopping down, just move your decorations. Sometimes when these decorations are quite heavy and you hang them on the branches, it can flop down. You've got enough wire there, just move things around and perfect it exactly the way you want it. Cool. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment. Tell me if you had a good time. If you need any further instructions, just contact me, pop me a message, and I'm always happy to help. But yeah, happy wreath making. Thank you. Bye.